In a small town nestled between rolling hills, there lived three brothers: Nick, the eldest, Alex, the middle one, and Sam, the youngest. Although they were close in age, they shared one major issue. All three had poor eyesight. This wasn't just a minor inconvenience. Their vision was so weak that even during the day, everything seemed blurry. At night, things were even worse, and they often struggled to see anything at all. Because of this, their parents took precautions and locked them in separate rooms every night to keep them safe. Despite their struggles with sight, the brothers were notorious for their mischievous behavior and lively spirits. They were often the talk of the town for their playful antics, and the villagers were charmed by their innocence. Each evening, the brothers would gather outside their rooms and share stories, competing with each other about who had the best eyesight. Nick, being the eldest, always claimed that he had the sharpest vision. However, his adventurous spirit often got the better of him, leading him to sneak out at night. Unfortunately, this usually resulted in him stumbling through the darkness, injuring himself, and returning home in the morning with a new, exaggerated tale of his nighttime misadventures. One day, news spread about a grand carnival taking place in a neighboring town. Excited and determined to experience it, Nick decided he would sneak out and go. He was in such a hurry that he thought it would be easier to ask someone for directions. However, due to his poor eyesight, Nick mistook a statue by the road for a person. "Hey, can you tell me how far the carnival is?" Nick called out. When there was no response, he grew irritated and shouted, "Are you blind? Can't you hear me?" At that moment, a bird sitting on the statue's head startled and flew off. Nick, feeling the wind from the bird's flight, thought the person had lost their hat. Smirking to himself, he decided not to tell the stranger about the hat falling. He continued on his way, stumbling and tripping until he finally reached the carnival. Although he couldn't see much of the carnival, Nick decided to return home and brag about his adventure. When he arrived home later that evening, he eagerly began boasting to his brothers, "You guys wouldn't believe it. I saw the circus, all the rides, and so many amazing things. You're all too scared to even leave the house. I've seen the world." His younger brothers, Alex and Sam, were skeptical of Nick's story. "I bet he's just making it all up," said Alex. "He probably didn't even go anywhere." Sam, always the thinker, suggested, "Why don't we have a contest to see who really has the best eyesight? The winner gets $50 from each of us." In those days, $50 was a significant amount, so Alex agreed to the challenge. Nick, confident as always, also accepted, and the brothers came up with the plan. They would test their vision by reading the inscription on a new plaque outside the town's main church. The one who could read the inscription from the furthest distance would be crowned the winner. That night, as they lay in bed, Nick became anxious. "What if Sam or Alex have better eyesight than me?" he thought to himself. Then a plan hatched in his mind. "I'll find out what the plaque says before they do." Under the cover of darkness, Nick quietly snuck out of his room and made his way to the church. The caretaker, Mr. Wilson, was still there, installing the plaque. Nick called out to him, "Hey, Mr. Wilson, can you tell me what the plaque says? I'm really curious." Mr. Wilson, glad to have someone to talk to, shared the details of the inscription. Nick thanked him and snuck back home, feeling confident about the upcoming challenge. But Nick wasn't the only one with a clever idea. Soon after, Alex also snuck out and went to the church. He asked Mr. Wilson not only about the inscription, but also about the plaque's color. Finally, Sam, the youngest and the most observant of the three, decided to check things out too. In addition to the inscription and color, Sam asked Mr. Wilson about the name of the person who had sponsored the plaque, which was often engraved at the bottom. The next morning, the brothers gathered at the church to begin the contest. Nick, eager to win, stopped at a distance and said confidently, "I can already see the plaque clearly from here. It says, 'In memory of John.' The name John is written in a beautiful font." Alex raised an eyebrow and asked, "Really? Can you also tell us what color the plaque is?" Nick hesitated, his mind racing. It's red," he said, hoping he was right. Alex smirked and confidently declared, "Actually, it's blue. Bright blue." Sam, the youngest and sharpest of them all, smiled and said, "Okay, if you both have such sharp eyesight, can you tell me the name of the person who sponsored it?" Neither Nick nor Alex could answer. With a smile, Sam said, "The sponsor's name is Harris, written in gold at the bottom corner." Sam claimed victory, but Nick and Alex were not ready to admit defeat. An argument quickly escalated into a full-blown scuffle. Hearing the noise, Mr. Wilson, the church caretaker, came outside to see what was happening. "What's going on here?" he asked. The brothers explained their situation, each one claiming that they should win the prize. Mr. Wilson chuckled and said, "You three are funny. You've all lost the challenge." The brothers, confused, asked, "What do you mean? How did we lose?" Mr. Wilson laughed and pointed at the empty spot where the plaque was supposed to be. "There's no plaque. It hasn't even been installed yet." The realization hit the brothers like a ton of bricks. They had all wasted their time and energy, imagining things that weren't even there. Laughing at their own folly, the brothers apologized to Mr. Wilson and walked back home together, feeling a little embarrassed but also happy for the lesson they had learned. Sometimes it's best to focus on what's really in front of you, rather than chasing something that isn't there. If you enjoyed this little adventure, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and stay tuned for more funny and surprising stories. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.